day one of planting and you backed into a hill and wrecked your smart firmer. Well, it's not fully wrecked. You can still fix it. You got to buy two kits. You get the one kit, that's your main brace and the locking portion on the top. And then in this case, I backed into the hill really good. So I got to do the wear strip as well. You got to get two kits though. You got to get this 145216, which is the tail part. And then you have to get the 145215 part number, which is the wear strip on the bottom. Overall, not very hard to take apart. This one I pretty much already took apart for myself. So I busted all the bolts off. I'm sure I've got one maybe snapped off in the smart firmer. Nope, it came out. So you gotta, let's see, pop the liquid line out, get the wire out. You gotta use a Torx. So do this like so, take the top screw out. That will make this piece come off. That way I can get my wire out of the side. And normally they kind of just pull apart, but in this case I'm going to use a big flathead screwdriver. Try to wedge it apart. There, so I got to move. So I now have the sensor detached, and that comes out of this like so. So inside your smart firmer, that's all there really is. It is the sensor, and it is all these plastic components that hang on to it. So you want to pop your liquid line out. Pop this out of here. There. Now I got all the garbage parts off. I'm going to do the new part. But what I normally do is on the sensor, you'll get a lot of stuff gummed up on it, dirt, fertilizer if you had a leak. I use a screwdriver, it's a flathead, and try to scrape as much of that off as I can so it goes together easier. There's a groove down the sides that this piece slides into. Do have to make sure you get those grooves cleaned out good. So I will do that. I don't know why I'm not using the onboard air from the Momentum sitting right next to me, but probably will do that here in a second. It's a little bit easier to clean everything out. As you can tell, I'm not planting and I'm wearing a jacket. It is May 1st and they are calling for very cold tonight, so I'm not overly excited to put a ton of seed in the ground when they're talking this, what, tonight I think 31 degrees up here, all the way up to Thursday morning. It looks like it's going to be 31 as well. So that does not excite me to get any seed in the ground. I don't have any corn in yet, so don't have to worry about that at this time. Okay. It does come with instructions, so if you don't know how to put it back together, it does walk you through step by step on the instructions, which I haven't done this since last year, so we'll see how this goes together. So, like I said, those grooves right here that it has to fit in should fit very tight on that. Now the fun part, in the inside on this, there's two little notches, and if you look at the wiring harness, there's two little grooves here. They fit into the notches in this plastic piece. You gotta make sure it's orientated correctly. And you're gonna put the tail on, which is, if I remember right, I think this thing slides in. As I'm telling you that, I'm telling you to use instructions. What am I doing? Not using them. So it slides in like so. Like I said, you want to make sure that harness stays in there well. A lot of times you push pretty hard to get the holes to line up where the screws gotta go in. Okay. So there, I have it together. Now there is a screw up on the top. There's another one down here. You got to put those two in, and they supply new screws. Now, there are 3 different types of screws. There is a fine thread, a coarse thread, and a longer coarse thread. They all go in their own special spot. Don't know why they had to do different ones, because it just allows you to put it in them in the wrong spot. So they are all Torx. So if I'm right, I believe the top one, that is a fine thread, and I still need to push that sensor in a little farther. That one is tight. So, try this. Like I said, sometimes they're really easy, and this one is not. Okay. That one's in. I gotta do the front one, which is the short coarse thread one. Then fish that through, fish my liquid line back on the bottom. Oh, and fish in the liquid line first, because it's kind of a pain to get in there after. Fish it through, because it does not want to go through that opening. Don't read the instructions like I did in my first few times. You get to do this a couple times, because you're going to be taking it apart and putting it together, and it's going to be wrong. So I should have done that first, instead of doing it that way, but I'm not taking it back apart. Okay, now that's in. How does this thing go again? Okay, so now my last screw is just to hold this locking piece on. There. Now I just made a problem go away that I created. Day 1 of planting, don't back into the ditch and think the planter's just not going to have an issue, or you end up with broken components like that. Like I said, if you want to know the part numbers, the long tail part, that is a 145216, and the wear strip at the bottom, if you didn't mess up the whole thing like I did, which one was that one? That's a 145215. Those are the 2 parts you need to completely rebuild a smart firmer. Comes with instructions, comes with hardware. The only thing it doesn't come with is the sensor. If you mess your sensor up and that does not work, you will be buying a whole new smart firmer. In my case, I didn't do that, so I got lucky. Very lucky, because I only wrecked one. So, you got any other questions on any of this stuff? How to easily fix it? Which, that wasn't overly easy, but pretty easy. Reach out, let me know. I can show you other stuff.